talk a little bit about sports in the summer and keeping yourself safe. So, in your profession, what sports are people mostly getting into this time of year?
Well, Samantha, we're seeing a lot of running injuries, golf injuries, and to a certain extent, swimming injuries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what kind of injuries are associated with those that you guys are seeing?
Well, for runners, we see that the runners are sometimes dehydrated, and I like to stress to them that you have to stay hydrated. And one of the best ways to do it is take your weight before and after a run. If you've lost less than 1 pound, then you know that you have to at least consume a pint to kind of catch up. But you don't want to start off behind. You want to try to stay hydrated before the run. Try to run at early in the morning before it gets hot, so you avoid heat exhaustion. Always warm up at least 5 minutes before you start running. Then you stretch, then you get into your run, then you stretch afterwards. And I think that can be very, very helpful. And then also I tell runners, if you're running 10 miles a week, then just like tires that wear out, you have to make sure that your shoes are in good shape. So I recommend changing shoes every 9 to 12 months.
And then as far as the golf and swimming, golf, seems very leisurely and stuff, but are there injuries associated with that from people, not taking precaution steps in the beginning?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll start with swimming because orthopedists around the country are noting that we have over 1,800 spinal injuries per year. And that's because sometimes swimmers dive into unsafe waters. So if you are a lake swimmer or you swim in a river and it's been a heavy storm, the bottom of that river or bottom of the lake may have changed. So you want to never dive into the bottom of the pool or the bottom of an area where you don't know what's down there. So I think that's very, very important. And I think as far as golfers go, golfers are pretty much, we have the thought that it's a low impact sport, but elbow injuries are very, very common. So I always advise the golfers to try to make sure they build up their forearm strength so that they don't develop what we call medial epicondylitis.
Okay. So if you kind of had, one big wrap-up message, whether it's, people playing kickball in their yard or throwing around a baseball, what would that be to, prevent these injuries?
Try to stay in shape, and if you're not in shape, make sure that you get a good warm-up, a good stretch, and always, always hydrate.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Green, for joining us.